Yeah. Hi, Keyshawn. Good to see you. Oh, no interrupt. Tom signed up. The girls are here. We'll start in a couple minutes, y'all. Waiting on a bunch more folks to come, but go ahead and get comfortable, and you can grab all of the props. We'll definitely use a blanket today, not for tucking in, the AC will be on, but to do a few variations with the props. But a blanket, 2 blocks, a strap, and therapy balls. We'll have some time to roll towards the middle and end of class, but I can also bring those things to you. You can grab them now, anything you like. And for those that are here now, you'll hear me say that again as more people start to come in. Three weeks since you've been in here? I taught Monday, yeah. Hmm? Yeah, 2 weeks I was out. No, not at all. Hi. Good splits. Last one for splits. Go on, back. Don't worry, no, you need to stay. I know, me too. It's gone, but it's still very much present. Oh, good. Yeah. I know. How are you feeling about existing? I know we were going to check in about it. We can also do it after class or next week, but I take your time. You can grab anything you need. We'll use a blanket today for sure. Not necessarily to tuck ourselves in for Shavasana, but to use a little bit of leverage for poses we're moving towards. 2 blocks, a strap, and some therapy balls. And Marcy and I can bring any and all of those things over to you. But great to be with you in the AC. The hardest part of class is done, is just leaving one AC and coming to the other. But we're here, and it will be on the entire time. It's great to see you all. For those of us that are new to each other or haven't seen each other in a while, my name is Anisha, and we have Marcy assisting us here. The way that class will look, as it so often does, is that one or both of us will be practicing from the mat or walking around to teach. Call us over, interrupt, ask questions, and we're more than happy to help in any way that we can. The bigger stuff. July, the peak of July, heat of July. The past few weeks, we've been working towards one version of a pose in different orientations to gravity. And for our last Tuesday evening class in July, we'll try it again one more time. And so if we were together in the beginning of July, you might remember what it was, or if not, that's also okay. You didn't miss anything, and we'll try it again this evening. But the pose that we'll work towards is Hanumanasana, or full splits. We've done it in different orientations to gravity. I know. Hannah, don't be scared. So I know it's some first classes, some it's been a while, and I said this in yesterday's class where, teaching teachers how to teach, the first message we try to get across is never take anyone's face personally in yoga class, because I know when I'm practicing yoga, my face is doing things that I don't expect or don't predict, and it's not indicative of how I'm feeling. But I know sometimes when I say we're doing full splits in the beginning of class, there's just a flash, a whisper of curiosity, of anything that goes across the eyes. But I mentioned that we're moving towards full splits because, of course, there's so many variations and modifications and ways to experience this pose. But the beauty of each one of these poses in our yoga practice is that they have such a phenomenal, almost otherworldly mythological story that they're associated with that makes them even larger than life. So while we're moving towards a big hamstring opener, a big upper body opener, the pose Hanumanasana is named after one of the great lords of yoga. And he's the one who has the face of a monkey, the body of a human, and a very long tail. And he's most famous for flying from one universe to the other, one area to the other, in one giant leaping split. And he is, the stories, I'll tell you a story as we're in the pose itself today, but the common denominator of all of his stories is that he starts off in land that he knows very well, in familiar territory, in places that he's comfortable with, that he knows, that he calls his home, and he always takes a leap into the unknown, into a place that he's never seen, never understood, and never even imagined. And yet, he's still able to take these giant leaps, knowing or not knowing where he's going to end up. So as we move towards Hanumanasana today with the blanket at the wall and different orientations, the invitation is to see, even as you extend and stretch yourself in every direction possible, can you continue to call yourself back to yourself, which means calling yourself back to each one of your breaths, because it's that guiding force and that superpower that each and every one of us possess. So we'll see where it takes us. Full splits. In every which way and form. Take breaks, sip water, modify, spectate. Tell me if you want the air conditioning any colder than it already is, and we can easily turn it down because it's the magic of climate control in summer. So I'm glad we're all here. Let's come together in a comfortable seat, however that looks for you. You are more than welcome to start lying down on the ground. You might start cross-legged. You might be seated on your knees. If you are in a seat, you might explore what it feels like to sit up on some propping on your blanket or up on your block so that your hip bones can naturally come higher than your knees, to let your hip flexors soften and your low back really lift and lengthen. And as you let your hands fall anywhere they might fall, into your lap or on top of your thighs, Let your eyes close so you can listen for your breath. When we close our eyes, it's a moment to see yourself more clearly than before. To let each one of your breaths gently dissolve the day and the afternoon that was. Let each of your breaths help you arrive to where you are now. And every breath that comes after makes space for what has yet to come. So as you let your breath naturally begin to deepen, can you see how your breath begins to deepen you? Your next inhale might move from your nose down into your belly and up into your heart. And as you exhale, offer the breath up and out through the very crown of your head, creating more space for more breath. A few more rounds just on your own. As you let each inhale move in, down, and wide. And every exhale offers itself up and out in each direction of your being. We'll begin our practice and our time together with 3 more rounds of that breath. As you give yourself a moment, you might place your hands to center anywhere that feels for you, somewhere on your person or in front of your heart in that moment of self-reverence. If your hands are in Anjali Mudra, you might pull your thumbs back to touch your heart as you lift your heart up into your thumbs to meet yourself where you are. Wait for your inhale as it fills you up. And exhale to offer that breath out. 2 more times, just on your own. At the bottom of your breath, pause for a moment. Take notice of any difference that comes when you remember and listen for your breath. And now keeping that connection inward as best as you can, gently release your hands, let your eyes blink open, and come forward to tabletop this evening to start to link breath and movement together through a few rounds of cat and cow. You might have your blocks framing out the front corners of your mat. Perhaps you use them as we begin to move about. And as you spread your fingers nice and wide, curl your toes under, feel the arches and the webbing of your feet. Begin to move with your breath through a few rounds of cat and cow, taking your time. We'll take 5 rounds of breath here together, following your breath more than my voice. You might stay in the rounded or arched shape for a few extra cycles of breath. You might move more forward and back, your hips forward of your shoulder, or your hips towards your heels, and your shoulders forward of your wrists. But can you take 2 more rounds as you lengthen your next breath in and exhale to offer all of that breath out in every direction. Come back to table, find your neutral spine. And as you watch for your props or any friends behind you, let's take a calf stretch. Reach your right leg back, curl your right toes under, and reach through your right heel to see what you feel in the back of your right leg. You might keep your heel still, maybe you rock it slowly forward and back. But as the heel goes back, can you slide your heart forward so that all 4 sides of your neck grow longer? A long breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, offer that breath out. Take your time to switch sides. Bend your right knee, reach back through your left. And as you take notice of the second side, think heel to the back of your mat as you slide your heart and the very top of your head forward towards the front of the room. A bigger breath in and an even longer breath out in every direction. Come back to table, find your neutral spine. Walk your hands a handprint forward of your shoulders. With your knees behind your hips, curl your toes under, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take as much time and all the breaths you need to find your way there. In your down dog for today, let your feet come an inch wider than they already are. And now lift both of your heels and soften your knees to let the backs of your legs release. Now with your knees soft, stick your butt up and back towards the wall behind you. Keep your left knee bent and let your right heel get heavier to the earth. Lift your right heel, bend your right knee, stick your butt up to the sky, and pedal your left heel to the ground as you take a long breath in and a deeper breath out. Now at the bottom of your exhale, lift your heels, soften your knees, look forward, and 1 foot at a time, walk your feet up towards your palms to come into your forward fold. Those blocks might be right there to bring your hands high up onto blocks out in front of your feet. You might widen your feet an inch or two or soften your knees in the service of giving your hips and your low back a little extra space. But as you let your head get heavy, nod your head yes, and slowly nod your head no, and feel what gravity can do for your upper back. A deeper breath in, and a long, steady breath out through every direction of your being. Now climb your hands up onto your hips, stand down through your legs, and on your inhale, come all the way up to rise as you release your hands down by your sides. With your feet right under your hips, take an inhale to reach your arms forward and up to the sky as you get tall. Exhale, your knees from your hips to fold over your legs. Inhale to come up halfway, hands to your blocks or shins as you reach your chest forward. And exhale to fold, plant your palms and step it back to plank pose. Find the top of your push-up. Your knees might be lifted. You might tap your knees to the ground behind your hips, but without moving your arms or legs, feel your legs behind you and energetically hug your thighs towards each other as if they could become one pillar. Now, without moving your hands, hug your palms towards each other. Feel the forearms engage. Slide your ears back so your head's in line with your chest. A big breath in. And on your exhale, bend your elbows to lower all the way down onto your belly. With your hands as wide as your mat, inhale to rise for cobra or baby cobra. Lift up through your heart. And exhale to take it back to downward facing dog, tabletop, or puppy pose for 3 slow, steady breaths. Each breath moves first in the direction of your heart, the very center of your being. Your heart then awakens and illuminates your mind, and your mind inspires the full depth and agency of your body. Bring your feet here. Take a full breath in through the nose, and a longer breath out through your nose or parted lips. When you find your next exhale, lift your heels, soften your knees, peek forward, and come forward, feet to your hands, into your forward fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway. Can you let the balls of your feet be as heavy as your heels? And exhale to fold in towards your own self. Take a breath to rise, stand through your legs, reach your arms all the way up to the sky, get a drop taller than you were, and exhale to let your hands come down by your sides. Take a full breath in, reach your arms forward and up. And on your exhale, fold in towards yourself. Use your own fists and measure your feet about 2 fists width apart. And with your toes pointing straight ahead, bend your knees, sit your hips back, and climb your palms up to your thighs for this round of chair pose. Now think butt heavy to the back of your mat. Press into your legs to lift your chest away from the ground. You can stay here for more support in your low back. Feel free to add some heat in the upper body as you reach your arms up overhead. But listen for your breath, a full breath in and down. As you exhale, think butt heavy to the back of your mat. As you lift your heart, even your gaze away from the floor. And now inhale to come all the way to rise. Reach up to touch the sky. As you exhale, fold in towards yourself. Keep your right foot forward, step your left foot back to catch your lunge, and bring your hands high up onto your blocks or fingertips on either side of your right foot. Wiggle your left toes back just an inch or two so you get longer in your stance. And now as you stay in your lunge, take a breath. Can you lift your chest, grow long through your spine? And exhale to fold as you straighten your right leg. Twice more with your breath. Inhale through to lunge, bend your knee, lift your heart up, and exhale to fold as you let your right leg straighten. One more on your inhale through to lunge, grow long through your spine, and exhale to fold as you straighten your right leg. Now, once the right leg is straight, pause here for a moment. Can you lift your back heel higher away from the ground? And as you wrap your left hip towards the front of the room, tack your right hip towards the back of your mat. Notice where the sensation shifts in the back of your right leg. Now, as much as you can keep those hips square, stay here, or let your left heel get heavier to the back of your mat like you did in that calf stretch. You might push your palms down and forward into your blocks and maybe flex your right foot to lift your right toes away from the earth. But a deep breath in through the nose and a long exhale out as you bow in towards that right thigh and try to soften the gripping sensation of your hands around those blocks. Now on your next inhale, back it up, bend your right knee, step your left foot forward to meet your right, back into your forward fold. Halfway, grow long through your spine. And exhale to fold in towards yourself with your feet 2 fists width apart. Bend your knees, sit your hips back, Utkatasana round 2. You can bring your hands to thighs, to overhead. But as your butt gets heavy, can you guide your knees open towards those second and third toes? And now slide your ribs back, let the middle of your back broaden. Slide your ears back to lift your chin. And if your arms are overhead, bring them back 1 more inch in line with your ears as you sit lower to the earth. Inhale to rise, reach up to touch the sky, and on your exhale, fold in towards your own self. With your left foot forward, step your right foot back to catch your lunge. The higher you are up on fingertips or blocks, it'll give your hips and your torso a lot more room to move. But as you wiggle your right toes back, take a big breath in to grow long through your spine. And exhale to fold as you straighten your left leg. Follow your breath more than my voice. Twice more. Inhale through to lunge. Drink that breath in. And exhale to fold as you straighten your leg. One more time. Wait for the inhale as you grow long through your spine. And as you exhale, fold and let your left leg straighten for this version of pyramid pose. With your left leg straight, can you lift your right heel a drop higher away from the ground? And as you push through your right foot, wrap your right hip towards the front of your mat, tack your left hip back, and then maybe let your right heel get heavier towards the back of your mat itself. If you did so on side 1, you might flex your left foot and lift your left toes up off of the earth, but a long breath in through the nose. Stay for your exhale. You might bow in towards that left thigh as you soften the grip of your fingers around the ground or on those blocks. Now on your inhale, back it up, bend your left knee, plant your palms on your sticky mat and step it back to downward facing dog. Pedal your heels from side to side, a breath or 2 to notice what it is you see and feel. And now inhale through to plank pose, the top of your push-up. Exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to rise for your cobra, Bhujangasana. Think shoulder blades together on the upper back. And exhale to bring it back to downward facing dog. From your down dog, take a long breath in through the nose and a deeper breath out through your nose or parted lips. On an inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your. Wait for your inhale to come up to rise for high lunge as you reach your arms, your chest, and your torso to the sky. Feel free to walk your right foot an inch or 2 over to the right so your feet are less on that balance beam. But just like you did in that pyramid pose, lift your back heel, knee, and thigh high. Wrap your left hip to the front of the room and tack your right hip towards the back of your mat. Now stretch up through your fingertips, even look away from the floor. A big breath in. Stay for the exhale and bend 1 more inch into your front thigh. Bring your hands to your hips. Tiny bend in your back knee. Get springy and hop off your back foot to scoop your left thigh to your chest. Stand down through your right leg. Grow 1 inch taller through the crown of your head. And now lower both feet down onto the ground. Bend your knees. Sit your hips all the way back. Lean into your left foot. Lift your right heel and cross your right ankle over your left thigh for standing figure 4. As your hands go anywhere to steady you, on your hips, on blocks out in front of your feet, or even up overhead, can you remember your breath? A deep breath in and down. As you exhale, like chair pose, let your butt get heavy to the back of your mat. As you lift your chest, even your gaze away from the floor. Now inhale to come all the way up to rise. Lower both feet to the ground, reach your arms up to the sky, and grab your right wrist with your left hand. Grow 1 inch taller and tip up and over to the left for standing crescent, a side bend. You might let your hips sway to the right, even slightly off center. And as you tip to the left, think ears back to lift your chin. Maybe bring your arms back in line with your ears to broaden through your chest. And now inhale to come all the way back up. Reach up to touch the sky. Exhale to fold in towards yourself. Plant your palms to the top of your mat. Walk your feet all the way back to the back of your mat to bring it back to downward facing dog. Follow your breath more than my voice. Inhale through to plank pose. As you exhale, lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Wait for your inhale to rise, Cobra Bhujangasana. Let the feet get heavy into the earth. And exhale to take it back to downward facing dog. From your down dog, float your left leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Wait for your inhale to come up to rise for high lunge on the second side. Reach up to touch the sky. Walk your left foot as much as you need over to the left. But as you lift your right heel high, can you wrap your right hip towards the front of your mat, tack your left hip to the back of your mat, and then peek away from the ground. A deep breath in. Stay for your exhale and let your left thigh get heavier to the earth. Now you can keep your hands overhead or bring them to your hips, but tiny bend in your back knee, get springy, and hop off your right foot to scoop your right thigh to your chest. Stand down into your left leg, grow 1 inch taller through the very crown of your head. And now lower both feet to the ground, bend your knees, sit your hips back, lean into your right foot, lift your left heel, and cross your left ankle over your right thigh. As your hands go anywhere to steady you in the standing figure 4. See if you can flex that left foot to steady your left ankle and knee. And now feel for your breath, a deep breath in and down. Stay for your exhale, think butt heavy to the back of your mat as you lift your gaze, even your heart, away from the floor. Inhale to come all the way to rise. Lower your feet to the ground. Feel gravity beneath you as you reach your arms up to the sky. And for standing crescent, grab your left wrist, grow 1 inch taller, and up and over to the right for a side bend. Your hips might lean off center over to the left, but as you reach up and over to the right, slide the ears and the throat back, maybe the arms back as you tip towards the right hand side. Inhale to come up through center, reach up to grow 2 inches taller than before, and on your exhale, fold, bowing in. Plant your palms to the top of your mat, step your feet all the way back to bring it back to down dog. And now from your down dog, lower both knees onto the floor into your table. With your feet as wide as knees wider than your mat, feet towards each other, child's pose, balasana. Reach your hips towards your heels. You can bring your head to the ground or to a block or to your stacked palms. But can you call yourself back to your breath? Just for reference, the air conditioning is on 68, so it's working. But as a reminder, at any point, you take breaks, hydrate, support yourself, and call yourself back to your breath. Can you take a breath into your belly and fill up into your lungs? And as you exhale through your nose or parted lips, feel the weight of gravity beneath you. Now on your next inhale, come up through center, back to all fours into your table. And from tabletop, we'll spend a few moments on the knees. So if you'd like to find a blanket to pad your knees up, you're more than welcome to do so. Sip some water, shake it out, and a breath. Hot. Are overheating or comfortably cooking? Like even rate of cook, or have we gone into stratosphere? Okay, there's 3 comfortable, so I'm going to take those as the voice for everyone, but take breaks. Okay, from tabletop, with a blanket under your knees or not, bring your hands as wide as your mat. Take up a little extra room. And now curl all 10 of your toes under to feel the arches of your feet. Like we did in that calf stretch, reach your right leg back, curl the toes under, and reach through your heel. Now, as the heel goes back, can you look forward in between your hands or to the top of your mat? On your inhale, lift your right leg up off of the floor as you flex your right foot. Now, notice if the right hip and toes want to turn open to the right. Wrap your right hip to face the ground. Now, reach back through your heel and slide your chest forward towards the front of the room. Tent up onto your left fingertips. You can stay here the whole time, or you might reach your left arm straight ahead towards the front of your mat for the spinal balance. As you hug your right thigh an inch to the left, hug your left arm towards your left ear, and now reach back through your right heel as you stretch forward through the left hand. A big breath in. Stay for the exhale. And lower your hand and knee to the ground, back to all fours. Stay in stillness, take a round of breath or 2 in cat and cow, but call yourself back to the full fluency of your breath. Now when your hands come wide, almost as wide as your mat, it helps steady the ground underneath you if those spinal balances feel wobbly, which they always do for me. So with your hands wide, we'll come to the second side. Reach your left leg back. Curl the toes and look forward to grow long. Now lift your left foot away from the floor as you flex your left foot and straighten your leg. Notice if the belly and ribs want to drop towards the earth. Can you lift the low ribs up? Let the middle of your back expand. And now tent up onto your right fingertips. Stay here, or reach your right arm forward towards the front of the room. As you hug everything to center, meaning hug the left leg to the right, squeeze your right arm towards your ear, reach back through your left heel and grow 2 inches longer through the right fingertips. Lower both hand and knee down onto the ground, back to all fours. A round of breath in cat and cow, in table, but a full breath in through the nose and a deeper breath out through your nose or mouth. Now as you come back to table, a thigh stretch. Bring your right foot to the outside of your right hand into this lizard lunge. Look down to see if your left knee is right under your hip. You might walk your left knee back an inch or 2 so your thigh is more at a diagonal. And now press down into your blocks or the ground to lift your gaze away from the floor. Bend your back knee, lift your back toes away from the floor, and reach your left hand around to grab onto the left foot, or the leg of your pants, or you might lasso a strap around the foot itself. But with your right hand steady, can you slide your ribs back towards the back of your mat, hug the shoulder blades together, and then look away from the floor. You can stay here. You might play with your balance and climb your right palm up onto your right thigh, or you might reach your right arm up overhead for this version of leaping monkey. But listen for your breath as you take a long breath in and down. Stay for your exhale. Can you lift your heart and maybe bend 1 more inch into your right leg? Now release your right hand to the floor first, then let go of your left foot. Plant your palms and take it back to all fours into your table. A breath in stillness, a breath with gravity. And for the second side, bring your left foot to the outside of your left hand. The higher your hands are up on blocks, the more access you might feel to grabbing onto the right foot. But as you walk your right knee back, lift your chest, bend your right knee, and lift your right toes up off the floor. Reach your right hand out and around to grab onto the pinky side edge of your right foot, your pants, or a strap that might lasso around. But here, this thigh stretch is a back bend, so notice if those ribs and belly want to move forward. They naturally will. Can you slide them back and notice if the sensation shifts in the right thigh? Now shoulder blades together as you look away from the ground. And as your left hand stays or comes to your thigh or reaches up overhead, remember your breath, a full breath in and down. Stay for your exhale, lift your heart, even soften your jaw, and bend into your front thigh. On your inhale, release the hold of your left arm, then the right foot, and step it back to table. We meet in downward facing dog. Take as much time and all the breaths you need to find your way there. From your down dog, lift both heels, soften your knees, look forward, and come forward, feet towards your hands into your standing forward fold. Inhale to come up halfway to lengthen, grow longer through your spine. And exhale to fold in towards yourself. Take a breath to rise, stand through your legs, reach your arms all the way up to the sky. And on your exhale, release your hands down by your sides. We'll take a shoulder stretch. If you have a strap, you can use your strap, unravel it from its rubber band, or you might interlace your fingers at your low back, up to you. But find yourself somewhere at the top of your mat. Bring your feet as wide as your mat if they're not already. And as you hold the strap between your hands or interlace your fingers, take a breath to lift your chest. Grow tall through your spine. Now on your exhale, stay standing and begin to reach your arms off of your tush towards the back of the room. Notice how when your arms lift, my head and shoulders always go forward. Can you slide the shoulder blades together and the throat back so your head is in line with your chest? Now a big breath in. And as you exhale, tiny bend in your knees, hinge at your hips, and fold as you reach your arms overhead towards the sky. Let your knees be soft, and let your elbows be soft as they're overhead. Now, without moving your hands, can you create some resistance? Try to tug your strap or fingers apart, and maybe the shoulder blades come closer together as you reach your arms overhead towards the front of your mat. A big breath in. Stay for your exhale, and then inhale to release your hands back to your tush. Ditch your strap to the side. Plant your palms to the top of your mat. Step your feet to the back of your mat to bring it back to downward facing dog. Now, if you don't already do have your blocks somewhere at the top of your mat, you might use them in a moment. And from your down dog, lift your right leg up and back. Step your right foot through to catch your lunge. Bring your hands high up onto blocks on either side of your right foot. And now look forward as you walk your blocks way far forward of your right foot for supported warrior 3. Lean into your blocks and lift your left leg up off the ground. Like you did in tabletop just a few moments ago, can you turn your left hip and toes to face the ground? And as you hug your left thigh an inch to the right, reach back through your left heel and slide your chest forward to grow longer. A big breath in. Stay for your exhale. And now lower your blocks a digit or two. For standing split, begin to bow in towards your right leg as you lift your left inner thigh up to the sky. That's it. Think left inseam of your pant towards the ceiling. And now stay right here breathing, or to add a little more spice, you might come onto your right tippiest of tippy toes. Lift your right heel. Lift your left inner thigh up to the sky. And as you keep your left leg lifted, ground your right heel back to your sticky mat and lift your left leg up 1 more inch. Bend your right knee. Step your left foot all the way back to catch your lunge. Step your right foot back to meet it and take downward facing dog. A breath. Whee! No? Any questions about that? Or should we just do the other side? Yeah, one head nod to do the other side, because we'll do it again later, but let's see how it goes. So from your down dog, bless you, lift your left leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. With your hands high up onto your blocks, look forward, see where you're going, and now walk your blocks way far forward of your left foot and lift your right leg up off the ground for supported warrior 3. Now, warrior 3 is long, as if your chest could touch the front of the room and your right heel would reach back. As you hug your right thigh an inch to the middle of your mat, Think heel to the wall behind you and chest forward towards the top of the room. A big breath in. Stay for the exhale. And now as you lower your blocks a digit or two, bow in towards your left leg as you lift your right inner thigh to the sky. Think right inseam of your pant towards the ceiling. And as you bow in towards that left leg, stay right here or come onto your left tippiest of tippy toes. Press down and forward through your hands. Lift your right inner thigh 1 more inch. And now keep your right leg lifted. Ground your left heel to the floor. Lift the right leg up a centimeter more. Bend your left knee. Step your right foot back. Step your left foot back to bring it back to downward facing dog. And now your choice. Stay right here with your breath. You might lower your knees to the ground and take your breaths close to gravity. Or your breath might take you through one of those linking vinyasas we've done together already. But anywhere you choose to go, moving or staying still, can you offer it to the full fluency of your breath? Take longer breaths in and full steady breaths out. When you find your next few breaths, you can come to all fours into your table, sit back onto your heels, shake out your wrists, sip some water, and take a breath. Okay, more than halfway done, and we've made it to full splits. We've done a lot of versions of them already, and we'll explore 2 versions, so technically 4. 2 on the right, 2 on the left, here on the sticky mat. So let me show you where we're going first. Give yourself a moment to steady yourself down, and then we'll see where it takes us. So, full splits. We've done a whole bunch of versions of them all throughout class, from the first lunge to pyramid, to the tabletop, to that warrior 3 to standing split. And now, as we explore it on the floor, the tendency of what starts to happen, at least in my body, is you come into your version of full splits. Yeah, we'll be here. And then because one leg is forward and one leg is back, the hips want to open up to the side, like this. So technically, this is a full split, but at what cost? Yeah, like as in, at what cost to my body? Meaning, I couldn't stay here for more than 3 seconds. So the idea of what we're trying to go for, it's less about how close your pelvis is to the ground, but how much can your hips stay steady and square to the front of the room? And you'll notice the sensation begin to shift. So for this first round, in a moment, what we'll do is you'll fold your mat in half. You'll bring your back half to meet your front, and then your blanket will come to where your mat used to be, to the back of your mat. You'll come into your tabletop, and like we did in that lizard lunge, one foot comes to the outside of your hand. And now here, because there's no sticky surface underneath you, you walk your knee back and bring your hands all the way back with you. And now imagine like you had a very long tail that someone could pull you from. You send your hips back. Instead of just locking the knee out, you're reaching from the hips to lengthen through the back of the thigh. There's more than enough to do right here, breathing. You'll notice the sensation in the back of your leg. You grow tall through your spine and see if you can flex the foot. If there feels like there's more room, you might bring your hands back with you and just 1 inch at a time, walk your knee back, bring your hands back. Knee back, hands back. Knee back, hands back. And notice each time as the knee goes back, do the hips want to open up to the side? You keep doing I have no other way to describe it besides that sound effect. Is the back hip and this front hip is going this way as you press into your blocks. Yeah? And then to come out, table. So we'll do this one with the back knee, and then we'll switch, bringing the front heel onto the blanket for the second side. So first the back knee is going back, and then the next round the front leg is going somewhere else. So if you need a blanket, we can bring some over to you. But what you'll do is you'll fold your mat in half. Here you go. Bring the back half of your mat to meet your front, a little sandwich, and then bring your blanket to where your mat used to be. I like to have blocks underneath my hands, and as you bring your hands onto your sticky mat, bring your knees onto the blanket in your table. Now, like you did in that lizard lunge, start with your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Thanks, Marcy. I'm not actually going to do it, but effect. Right foot to the outside of your right hand. Now, slide your back knee back an inch and bring your hands back with you. And for half split, Ardha Hanumanasana, pull that long tail, send your hips back to straighten your right leg and flex your foot. Now, this is a personal preference. You can keep both hands on the inside of your leg. It gives your torso more room. Sometimes it's more stabilizing to bring one hand to the outside of the foot, up to you. But as you walk your hands back, lift your chest. See where you're traveling to. Good. With the right foot flex, there's plenty to do here. Or you might walk your back knee back, bring your hands back with you. Walk your knee back, bring your hands back. Walk your knee back, bring your hands back, and as you press into your blocks, lift your heart, look away from the ground, and now listen for your breath, a full breath, in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale. Can you feel your left hip wrap forward while your right hip tacks back as you lift your chest? And now to come out of this pose, you drag your back knee forward, come back to tabletop. Sometimes it's graceful, sometimes it's not, but however we get out of it, we get out of it. And onto all fours. How did that go? Great. Yay. Hate mail? There's love mail up here, but I accept hate mail as well. That doesn't mean we're not going to do the other side. If you felt it behind the knee, which happens to me often, does anyone feel, okay, if you did, theoretically, my suggestion is sometimes when you feel it behind the knee is usually locking out or hyperextended, and you're feeling it more in the attachments rather than the muscle. So here, feel a bend in the knee. Take a little bend there, because when you find the bend, it helps you feel the sensation in the hamstring rather than the pulling where you don't necessarily want to feel it. Second side, tabletop. Hands on your sticky mat. Knees on your blanket. Step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. And as your hands are on blocks or fingertips, walk your back knee back. Bring your blocks back with you. And now send your hips back to straighten your left leg. Flex your left foot. Now can you look away from the floor as you lift your chest? Sides are very different or symmetrical, so it might feel plenty to be right here. But maybe you walk your back knee back, bring your hands back. Walk your knee back, bring your hands back. And now as you flex through your foot, press into the blocks to lift your chest. As you extend in every direction, front to back, top to bottom, can you call yourself back to your breath? A big breath in. Stay for the exhale as you soften the gripping of your fingers around the blocks and grow tall through the crown of your head. And now to come out, hug your legs together, pull back to table. You can take a breath in child's pose. You might sit on your knees. You might lay fully on your belly, but slow yourself down. Whew. So while, even though it is 100 degrees outside and it's air conditioned on in here, there's something advantageous about doing full splits in the middle of July because we have heat and humidity at our advantage, even though I did teach these in January in the middle of the cold. So you can do them any time of the year, but something slightly starts to shift. So before we do the last round of Hanumanasana, I think I told this story the first week that we started, but I'll remind it to you again of the mythology of Hanuman, where somebody told me also, I taught this yesterday, and someone said that there's an entire wing in the Philadelphia Art Museum dedicated to Hanuman. Okay, is this confirmed or denied? Does anyone know this? Okay, I haven't Googled this, but now, when you share stories and people start to bring up references, I had no idea he was so popular in popular culture. So he's right in Philly if you want to go see him. But Hanuman, he, as a small child, was known to be very mischievous. And now each one of the elements that are in these yogic and mythological stories have a god or a goddess that they're associated with. There's the god of fire, Agni, there's the goddess of the ocean, and there's the god of the sun, Surya. And there's also the god of the wind, who regulates how the winds travel from universe to universe. So Hanuman was the son of the king of the wind. He flew on the currents of the wind in full splits from one universe to the other. And the story goes of when he was a small child, he was playing, he got into trouble, and he was outside one day and looked up into the heavens and saw what he thought was a very ripe, juicy mango. And so he did one full split into the sky and tried to take a chomp of what he thought was a mango. But spoiler alert, it ended up being the god of the sun. And Surya felt a piece of him come off and said, we cannot live like this. This cannot continue on. So he decided, I'm going to make Hanuman temporarily forget his true powers so that he doesn't get into as much trouble. One of the stories goes, the god of the sun takes a little coconut, throws it at Hanuman, it clocks him on the jaw, and he gets, I don't know, modern day concussion, and forgets about his ability to fly in splits so that he doesn't get into as much trouble. But as he grows up and as he encounters more of his friends, more of the demons, his greatest superpower is despite not knowing he had this magical capacity, there was still something within him that compelled him to take these full splits. There was still something within him that he said, I don't know where I'm going to end up. I know that I have to save this poisoned brother. I have to rescue the kidnapped princess. And I am the only one who can do it. And there's something within me that's calling me to do this. So why am I always say, like, why am I telling you these mythological stories on a Tuesday in Philadelphia in the 21st century? If you've been practicing at the studio and you've heard a lot of the teachers talk about the mythology, all of the characters in these mythological stories, none of them are separate from us. Each one of the characters is an aspect of our own self. Shiva, who we talk about in March, he's the great destroyer. He comes to places to destroy, to create more space for life. Durga, the warrior goddess, she holds weaponry in all of her hands to defeat the demons. And Hanuman is the one who forgets his greatest power, but always comes to the time of need. And so it's so pertinent to our yoga practice, where the first thing to go out the door is the fullness of your breath, especially when you're in full splits. But that's the thing we're seeking the most when you're extending and stretching yourself out in every direction. No matter which way each limb goes, each part of your torso goes, can you tether yourself back to center with each round of your breath? So we're going to try it one more time. But this time, another little shape-shifting of the blanket. You'll bring the front half of your mat to meet the back. And then your blanket will come to the front. And we did the back knee on the blanket a moment ago. This time, your front foot will come onto the blanket itself. And then in a moment, as you send your hips back to flex your foot, you start to reach the heel forward. And as the heel goes forward, you're watching to see if the hips are opening up to the side. You're hugging the hips together, and into that space, you're letting your pelvis move to the earth. Hips together, pelvis to the ground. Shall we try it? So once your blanket, your props are all situated, blanket at the front, knees on your sticky mat, and bring your hands onto blocks. Now step your right foot forward between your hands to come onto your blanket. Send your hips back to straighten your right leg for half split. Flex your right foot and straighten your right knee. Now walk your hands back to lift your chest. Grow tall. That's it. As you flex your foot, look forward. See where you're going. Now maybe you begin to slide your right heel forward towards the front of the room as you walk your hands back. As the heel goes forward, can you walk your hands back? As the heel goes forward, can you wrap your left hip forward, your right hip back, push into your blocks to lift your chest, grow tall. From known territory in the back to the unknown, you leap as you take a big breath in. Stay for the exhale, press into your blocks, hug the shoulder blades together, and grow tall up and out through the crown of your head. And now to come out, drag the right heel back. Bend your right knee to take it back to table, to all fours. And notice what it is you see and feel. Any preference? Anyone prefer the back knee versus the front foot? Back knee? Mm-hmm. Back knee? Everyone back knee? Oh, some front foot. Okay. We'll always do both, but it's just market research. I like to know. Second side, last round, and then we don't do this again until next year. So tabletop, left foot onto the blanket. Bring your hands with the blocks to either side of you. And as you move your hips back, straighten your left leg. Flex your foot and straighten the knee. Good. Now can you look forward? And even when you begin to extend in every direction, can you call yourself back to the fluency of your breath? Think left heel forward, right hip towards the front of the room. And now press into your blocks to lift your heart. Press into your blocks to hug the shoulder blades together. And as you reach your left heel towards the front of the room, walk your hands back to lift your chest. A big breath in and down. Stay for your exhale. Grow 1 inch taller through the crown of your head as you soften the gripping of your fingers around those blocks. Now to come on back, draw the left heel back. Take it back to tabletop, to all fours. And in your table, stay here. Take a round of breath or two in cat and cow, a breath or two in stillness, or in child's pose, but 3 full breaths just at your pace. In through the nose and out through your nose or mouth. As you've found your breath again, when you come back to all fours, you can unfold your mat, clear the blanket. We won't use it anymore. And from your tabletop, we'll meet in one last downward facing dog as you lift your hips up and back to the wall behind you. A deeper breath in through your nose and a longer breath out through your nose or mouth. And now last time together, inhale brings you forward to plank pose. As you exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. Inhale to rise for cobra. Hug the shoulder blades together. Press your feet into the floor. And on your exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. From your down dog, lower both knees to the earth. Come to sit on your tush. Bring your legs out in front of you. And let your hands come back behind you. With your knees bent, feet as wide as your mat. A few windshield wipers before we take a seated twist. So watch for any props as you drop your knees to the right and to the left. Notice what it feels like to have one knee turned in versus one knee turned out. And now the next time you bring your knees back up through center, straighten your legs out long in front of you. Bend your right knee, bring your right foot to the floor. And as you bring your right foot to your left inner thigh, we come into Janu Shirshasana. Janu Shirshasana. That was marbles in the mouth. Extend your left leg long. Bring your hands to either side of your hips and grow tall through your spine. And now feel your belly turn from left to right to left. So you move towards that left leg. You can stay here upright. Or you might reach your right arm up to the sky as you take a big breath in. And on your exhale, fold as your right hand catches your outer left leg. The thigh, the calf, or the pinky side edge of the foot. Think above or below the knee. Now with each inhale, can you grow long through your spine? Think chest towards your left toes. And as you exhale, bend your right elbow to the right. And turn your belly and chest to the left, as if your belly button could move over and across that left thigh. 2 more breaths in through the nose. Stay for the exhale as you soften in towards yourself, as if your right cheek could rest on your left shin. On your next inhale, come all the way back upright if you folded forward. Extend your right leg long, bend your left knee, and bring your left foot to your right inner thigh. Start with your hands on the earth and think length through your spine. Grow tall. And now turn your belly towards that right thigh. Stay here with your breath as you flex your right foot. Or you might reach your left arm up to the sky, a big breath in. And as you exhale, hinge from your hips as your left hand grabs above or below that knee. With each inhale, can you grow long through your spine, even look at your front toes? And as you exhale, turn your belly from left to right, as if your belly button could move over and across that right thigh. 2 more breaths, in through the nose and out through your nose or mouth. Now, if you folded forward on your next inhale, come all the way back upright. Bend both knees, bring your feet flat onto the floor. And for a breath in reverse table, let your toes point to the front of the room, bring your hands behind your hips, and let your thumbs face forward. Keep your butt on the floor as you move your hips towards your heels, and now press into your palms to lift your chest. This is the sensation we're looking for. You can stay right here. If you'd like to add more weight onto the wrists, press through your feet to lift your hips up. Press through your palms to lift your chest. You might look at your knees, or without cricking your neck, slide the sides of your throat back to look straight up to the sky. But push down and forward through your legs to lift your hips. Push down through your palms to lift the back of your heart. 1 more breath in. And on your exhale, release all the way down to the ground. Do a little spin. Come to lie on your back so that your head is up towards the front of the room. Feet are to the back. And as you lay onto your back, have your block within a grabbable distance and have your therapy balls within a reachable distance too. If you need any of those things, call either me or Marcy over and we can bring you some. But once you find your block and your therapy balls, you can release them off to the side. Bend your knees, bring both feet onto the floor, and knock your knees into each other so that the weight of your legs supports the other. As your hands rest anywhere on your body, on your belly or on your chest, take a big breath into your palms and open your mouth to let that breath go. Take another breath the same. Breathe into the belly, into the back of your chest, and open your mouth to let all of that breath out. Now, as you hug your right leg in towards your belly, give it a squeeze and make some small circles with the right ankle in one or the other direction. See if you can spread your right toes, point the right toes, and notice the corners of your feet. And now, being mindful of neighbors around you, straighten your left leg long. For a twist on your back, let your left hand hold your right thigh and move your right leg up and over to the left. I like to bring blocks underneath my right thigh or the right calf so the floor can really meet you where you are. But as your right hand maybe rests on your belly or on your ribs or off to the side like a big T, let both shoulder blades be heavy onto the earth as you take a long breath in and a deeper breath out. You might stay right here breathing. Or for a bonus thigh stretch, perhaps you bend your left knee, kick your left tush with your left heel, and sweep your right hand down and around to grab the pinky side edge of your left foot. If you have a hold of your foot, press your foot back into your hand and shrug your right shoulder up and back as you take a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. On your inhale, release the hold of your legs. Draw your knees and your hips back through center. Feel both feet on the ground as you give your left leg a hug in towards your chest. Start with some small circles in one or the other direction. Spread your left toes, point the toes, and notice all the corners of your feet. Now straighten your right leg long in front of you. Bring your right hand to hold your left thigh, and let your left leg move up and over to the right for Supta Padangustasana C, a reclined twist. With any and all blocks underneath that left thigh as needed. Let the back of your head and both of your shoulder blades soften to the earth. And if you did so on side one, you might bend your bottom knee, reach your left hand around to grab onto the pinky side edge of your foot. Take a deeper breath in. Stay for the exhale as you push your foot back into your hand and shrug your left shoulder up and back. A deep breath in and a longer breath out. Now on your inhale, release the hold of both legs. Draw your knees and feet back through center and give them both a squeeze in towards your belly or in towards your chest. You might make some small circles in one or the other direction. Perhaps you lean gently from one side to the other. Or come into your version of happy baby as you widen your knees and your thighs. Your hands might catch the backs of your thighs, your calves, or the pinky edges of your feet. But a deep breath in and a long breath out. Release your legs down to the earth. And I'll talk you through this evening some therapy ball work in the upper back. There's some options if you'd like to set up early for rest. You're more than welcome to do so. We'll meet you there very soon. But for those interested in the therapy ball work, you can find your therapy balls, keep them in their tote, or take them out. But lift your head and your shoulders away from the ground, and from your upper back, pop the therapy balls between your shoulder blades to the top tips of your shoulder blades on either side of your spine. Once you find a place you can breathe in, be curious about, you might bring your head down onto the floor. If you'd like to alleviate any pressure, you might bring your head up onto a block at its lowest height. If you'd like to add more weight to the therapy balls, with your head on the ground, you might lift your hips up onto a block at its lowest height. But this therapy ball work is less about being in the places of most intensity, the most sensation, but finding the full depth of your breath through all the variations. Take a breath in through your nose and open your mouth to let that breath go. For 2 more places in your upper back, with your knees bent, feet on the ground, press through your legs and roll your body a few inches towards the front of the room until those therapy balls come down your back to the middle tips of your shoulder blades. So still in the upper back, just slightly lower than where you were before. Bring any props with you as needed as you take a deep breath in and a longer breath out. Now there's so much to do in stillness. You can stay right here. Or you might reach your arms overhead towards the ceiling with your palms and arms soft. Just being mindful of any props overhead, you might reach your right arm towards the front of the room. And then as it reaches back up to the sky, slowly begin to switch. Can you continue to find the length and depth of your breath as you take a deeper breath in and longer exhales out? And now if your arms are lifted, take your time to lower them back to your sides. And for one more place with your knees bent, press through your legs and roll your body another few inches north. So those therapy balls come south to the bottom tips of your shoulder blades, slightly lower than the first 2 times. A big breath in And an even longer breath out. Now perhaps your arms stay exactly as they are. Or you might reach your arms to the ceiling, and this time give yourself an embrace as if your hands could reach for the therapy balls behind your back. You might stay still or lean gently from one side to the other. If you are giving yourself that hug, you might switch which elbow is on top to notice any difference. And a deeper breath in and a big exhale out. Now unwrap your arms if they're wrapped around you. Clear any blocks from underneath you if they're there. And for the exit journey, two ways. You can either scooch your hips towards your heels and feel the therapy balls roll up your back. Or you might roll over onto one side, push them fully out of the way, and come to lay back onto the earth. But however they exit, see if they can fully exit for the remainder of rest. For sometimes if they stay in for Shavasana, they create more tension and softness. And as you drape your upper back and entire body onto the earth, the next place we'll meet is in your pose of rest. Feel free to add any props to support you. You might let your hair down or set your glasses safely off to the side. You may lay on your back or in a side-laying Shavasana. And know that at any point you can shift and adjust. But as the leap completed, can you feel the full fluency of your own breath? As you let each breath dissolve the entire practice that was. Let each breath help you arrive to where you are now. And every breath that comes after makes a little more space for what has yet to come. So as each of your breaths lets your body become heavier into the earth, the heavier your body becomes, the lighter, the more spacious, and the more expansive you may just start to feel. Begin to deepen your breath. Take a longer breath in and a sweeter breath out. Take another breath in and down. And as you exhale, offer all of that breath out. Let your breath begin to awaken the body that you're in and the being that you are with any gentle movement that feels supportive to you. You might roll your wrists or your ankles in one or the other direction. Perhaps you tip your head from one side to the other, heavy against its support. Just being mindful of those around you and any props. You might reach your arms away from your legs or draw your knees in towards your chest. But when the time comes, you can bend both knees, reach one or both of your arms overhead as you roll over to any side of your choice to curl into yourself. A breath or two here against the ground. And as you press into the floor, come up to rise to a tall seat facing the front of the room. With your eyes softly closed or softly open, can you once again remember your breath as you take a deep breath in and down, and exhale to offer the breath up and out through every fiber of your being. We'll finish our practice and our time together with one more of those breaths. You can draw your hands to center anywhere that feels for you. As you take a deep breath in, to offer all of it out. You might bow your head to your heart or lift your hands towards your head in such a simple but sincere gesture of self-reverence, bowing to yourself and to one another who practiced right alongside next to you. And Marcy and I bow to each and every one of you all. Thank you so very much for being here. Thank you. For those that knew it was full splits, thank you. For those that didn't, also thank you. Next month, something completely different. But until then, drink water, take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. If there's any mats or props you use from the studio, there are wipes here to give them just a swipe with. It's always helpful. And then the one studio announcement that I have is that Adriana and I are offering, if you're interested in the mythology and alignment and so much more, Adriana and I are doing a 50-hour immersion this fall. It starts in September. It's once a month and goes until December. And each weekend is focused on a different theme. So we talk about the history and the cultural context of yoga. Wow, I just blanked out because we do so much in there. One of our teachers from India comes in to zoom in about she's rewritten the yogic texts in the perspective of a young adult. We talk about the Yoga Sutras. So if there's stuff that you've heard us say in class that we just don't have a lot of time for, we got time for it in the fall. So if you have any questions at all, we can chat with you. But otherwise, enjoy yourselves. Anyone else have announcements? Any things that you're doing, you're going to, you're seeing, things that other people should know about? There's a clothing swap happening here on August 16th. Monique, who's a teacher here, has her company Let Me Know Club that's doing all sorts of fun events throughout the city. And on the 16th from 2 to 7, you can get a lot of good stuff. Bring and swap and socialize. Okay.